Well, 36,000 strong here in Boise. Start of the second quarter. Broncos undefeated, ranked number 24 in the country. Lead Utah State by a touchdown. Tom Ramsey, Alex Cordry, Roy Philpott. It's great to have you on board tonight. And an important third down coming up for the Aggies in plus territory. Myers with a pocket. Pass caught short of the first down. That's Rodriguez. Darren Lee the hit. And now fourth down coming up. And an interesting decision here for Matt Wells.
Yeah, they're going to bring the heavy package. Travis Seafelt comes in there. Ordinarily, he's a nose tackle. He comes in as a blocker. Few other biggins.
High formation, Lindsey with the handoff. And he'll have the first down. Needed one, gained two, and an important pickup there for Utah State, Tom.
I think that's a great play call by Matt Wells, the head coach of Utah State, because what he did the play before, he brought in a personnel group and brought a tight end over to block Frazier, the defensive end, and then came up short, but they got the correct personnel group on the field to play immediately to go for the fourth down. There was no hesitation, and Utah State has the first down.
Thought about the reverse. Myers and sandwiched between two Boise State defenders. He'll gain a yard. He got drilled a couple of times pretty hard last week in that loss to Air Force.
Yeah, and that's that same inside zone run. That's a prescribed run inside. You know, a lot of quarterbacks don't run that inside zone, but Kent Myers, pretty stout guy out of Texas, 6 foot, 200-pounder.
12-6 as a starter at Utah State. 2nd and 9. The pump fake, Lewis, and sent out of bounds at the 26. A late flag. Ben Weaver with the tackle. And this could be a personal foul against Boise State.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 96, low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Elliott Hoyt, the guilty party, Tom. That's a big one.
Yeah, especially from a senior. Hoyt really there, you know, takes a shot at Kent Myers. It's really uncalled for. Ball was out. The roughing now is going to move the ball inside the 15. See, the ball comes out, and then he goes low. You know, I don't know. I don't think that was intentional. I think Hoyt got actually blocked into Kent Myers.
Well, they are in the business of protecting quarterbacks these days. From the 13. And Lindsey dances his way for a gain of 2 with Lee bringing him down. Well, an important drive for Utah State. The Aggies shocked Boise State last year in Logan, forcing 8 turnovers. Elliott Hoyt said this week it was a sickening feeling just having to watch the film to get ready for this game, knowing what happened last year.
Yeah, as much as you want to put that in the trash can, you still have to look at it. That's the unfortunate thing about film. It doesn't go away.
Hunt checks in at running back. Myers. The pass is batted down. David Moa, the Moa constrictor, they call him in these parts, Tom. He's been everywhere the early part of this season.
What hasn't he done? I mean, he ran out. He brought out the hammer tonight out of the locker room. Usually goes to a special teams player, but Moa, you know, gets his hand up. Just a great play by a nose tackle. He's awfully active, and he's really been having a spectacular year. He's been all over the place. Comes in leading the team in sacks as well.
3rd down. Myers, end zone, and batted around. It's picked off. Now they rule it incomplete. Moxie bobbled the football.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
The senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, nearly had himself an interception.
Yep, Jonathan Moxie, an awfully good player. He got his hand in there first, and then he almost came down with it. He just didn't look it in. Oh. Boy, 3 guys had a shot at it. Darren Lee right there as well. Cameron Hartsfield. Bring out Utah State's kicker, Brock Warren.
28-yard attempt from the left hash on the way, and it's good. An important drive for Utah State. The Aggies on the board. Just underway here in our second quarter in Boise. Back in Boise, 7-3 our score. The undefeated and 24th ranked Broncos, 4 points in front of Utah State. Beautiful night for college football and a wild weekend so far. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, and Alex Cordry here with you. So after the 45-yard drive by the Aggies in 12 plays, coming off a loss at home to Air Force, important for Utah State to come in here and certainly be competitive early to get that confidence going against a very powerful Boise State club. Here's Wilson. Flag on the field. Spins his way across the 30 as we will check the penalty.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Receiving team, number 84, half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. It's first down, Boise State.
Jake Knight, the guilty party. And we'll check in for the first time this evening with Chris Cotter back in the studio. Chris.
Okay, Roy, Tom, time for the Scott Trade takeaway moment. We go to Death Valley, and after a Louisville takeaway, Lamar Jackson hits James Quick here over the middle. Get in the Cardinals bag, get it, and then Jackson, who's really starting to warm up here in the third quarter, keeps it himself on the zone read. 16 unanswered for Louisville, down just 2 over on ABC.
Oh, an 18-point deficit trimmed to 2, fourth quarter in Death Valley. That's a good one. We've got a good one here in Boise as well. Just underway in our second quarter. Deep handoff, and McNichols crashes across the 15 for a pickup of 2 yards. Ali Fua with the hit for Utah State.
Yeah, and I think, you know, to go into a tough environment, and there's a lot of tough environments in college football. Clemson may be one of the toughest.
18-game home winning streak right now, Tommy.
Yeah.
Aggies showed pressure. And here's Rippon. Dangerous throw, and it's incomplete. Boy, it was nearly picked off by Jalen Davis. And Chaz Anderson could have had a big play if he could have held on to the football, Tom.
Well, and they're getting Brett Rippon off his spot, Roy. He doesn't, he's moving his feet a little bit, but they're bringing great pressure, and you can see he had to move just a little bit. You said it, Jalen Davis broke on the ball, and it really got in the way of Chaz Anderson. He just flat out dropped it.
Davis had a big pick last year, the upset win against Boise State in Logan. Broncos 2 of 5 on third down tonight. Pitch and catch and a first down. Cedric Wilson makes the grab, threw a touchdown pass in the first quarter, and the drive continues.
Yeah, that's a nice first down right there. And I was going to say, this is an important drive for Boise State to get a little more continuity, get some confidence in the offense. And, you know, they really haven't done much outside of the trick play where Cedric Wilson threw the ball down the field to Jeremy McNichols for the touchdown.
Rippon with time. Floats it downfield, incomplete, looking for the flag. Daniel Gray was in coverage of Thomas Spurbeck. And the crowd loves it.
Most times that's a face guard. I'm surprised the flag didn't come out. Daniel Gray, I don't think got his head around. You see, he's kind of juking, but that's really a penalty and should be on Daniel Gray. Somehow Spurbeck saying, where's the flag? That's a miss.
That was a controversial loss last week against Air Force. Maybe football gods smiling down on Utah State. I would agree. Screen to McNichols. He'll cross the 25. It'll bring up third down and long. I mean, there were several instant replay reviews last week in that 7-point setback to Air Force, which were very much debatable, including back-to-back plays on what appeared to be a touchdown in the corner of the end zone. Then on fourth down, a conversion deep in Air Force territory. Neither one was allowed to count, so Utah State ended up going on to lose that game. 3rd and 9. Rippon with time. At the sticks is Anderson. Gray with the tackle, and it depends on the spot.
Oh, the referee gave a generous spot. Really generous spot. You know, Roy, sometimes, I hate to say this, sometimes there's those makeup calls, you know, when they miss the pass interference play, and then, well, that sort of, kind of, what? Yeah, it's a first down.
Quick snap, Rippon out of bounds after a gain of 1. Well, that's a crafty play just to snap the football as quickly as they did in that sequence.
Yeah, they didn't wait around. They got the ball up right away. No hesitation, no review of the play.
And Brett Rippon goes to the sidelines. The Wildcat with Spurbeck. This guy could do it all as well, just like Wilson. An option play. Spurbeck dives ahead. Gain of 2 yards. Aliafua. Make it 3rd and long.
And they put that play on film last week against Oregon State. Spurbeck picked up about 8 yards a week ago. That time, Utah State having recognized it and was looking for it. Rippon back in the game.
7-3, under 10 to play in the first half.
Boise State 3 of 6 on 3rd down tonight.
The Aggies standing up their front 4. Here comes the pressure, the dump off. McNichols bottled up, driven backwards. Jalen Davis, outstanding in coverage and also sound with a fundamental hit. And the punt team back on the field for Boise State.
Justice Tae, number 51 there as well. It's just great pursuit to the ball. They have had it dialed in tonight. Kendrick Shaver, the defensive coordinator, said, you know, they got to get a good look at their formations. They got to get the right personnel groups on the field. They've been able to match Boise State really well on 3rd down tonight.
See the numbers on Whale. He's been impressive. California native, heavy pressure, but gets it away. And Rodriguez with a fair catch at the 18 after a punt of 45 yards. Well, the Aggies get the offense back on the field. Brian Harsin searching for answers, but his team leads it 7-3.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly.
And another part of family weekend back in Boise. Stargazing and s'mores. 7-3 our score, almost halfway through the 2nd quarter. The Boise State Observatory with the physics and astronomy clubs. Lots of marshmallows, Tom Ramsey. A big marshmallow guy?
No.
I'm not really either. The
No.
texture doesn't do it for me. That's just me.
No. You know what I like.
I do. First down for Utah State. The Aggies would like some more offense. Alex Cordry down on the field will join us once again in a few minutes. Some misdirection, the handoff. And Lindsey across the 20 up to the 23-yard line.
Well, Lindsey's quick. He's quick. He makes the first guy miss. And that puts a lot of pressure on a defense. And so far we've seen great defense on both sides.
Flag comes down. Lindsey shoved out of bounds. A short pickup. Tommy, this one's coming back with holding.
Yeah, where they threw the flag, it looked like the end man on the line of scrimmage hooked the defensive end.
Brandon Cruz
Holding.
with the call.
Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Austin Albrecht, the left tackle, watch him reach out. And anytime you get that left arm around, well, you got a big handful of jersey. That was the problem. Flag came out right away. And Albrecht, one of the leaders of that offensive line, the senior out of Sandy, Utah.
Crowd back in it. Both of these teams trying to feel each other out offensively. Aggies facing a 2nd and 14. On the rollout. They'll get some of that penalty yardage back. Reception made by Braylon Roberts, junior out of Dallas, Texas.
Well, before this last drive, Roy, Utah State's only had 70 yards total offense, and they're 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Right there, they gained half of it. Well, less than half. It's, what, 3rd and 7. And they've been 0 for tonight.
Watch the pressure, top of your screen. Here comes the overload. Aggies block it. And the ball's caught at the 30. That's good enough to move the chains. Wyatt Houston, second catch of the night, and his second grab for a first down, Tom.
And emphatically with the first down. That's the first one tonight coming off 3rd down.
Well, these two teams don't like each other a lot. Tunnel screen, Lewis. And a quality pickup of 9 yards.
You know why they don't like each other? Because they know each other so well. That's why. They know each other well. They recruit the same athletes. They go after them. The coaches know each other. I was out at pregame, and all the coaches are saying, you know, nice things to each other. And I'm like, oh, you just wait till kickoff.
It all goes out the window.
That's right.
Quick strike on the 3-step drop. And too much mustard on that pass. It'll be 3rd and 1. When Myers can spin it, we saw it last week against Air Force, over 350 yards to the air. Was hurried with that delivery.
Yeah, and Boise State, here's the challenge, Roy. Boise State plays with their eyes so well. They coach it. Andy Avalos, the defensive coordinator, hey, you know what? Be consistent, but have great eye control.
Trips to the top of the screen. That one goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage, and Boise State's front 4 will force another punt.
That's a great job by that Boise front 7, reading and reacting. Reading and reacting. And they are going to punt, but you just see the defensive line just dominates right there. Martirano, number 7, he's finally in the game. McCaskill right there. Number 94, the defensive end. That's big, but hey, listen, 4th and short. Don't discount a fake punt either.
Matt Wells thought about going for it. Dalton hammers another beauty out of bounds. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Broncos. They lead Utah State 7-3 when we come back. Back in Boise, second quarter continues, under 6 minutes to go, 7-3. The undefeated Broncos in front of Utah State. And Taco Bell's a proud partner of the college football playoff this season. Be on the lookout for the Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. And supporting breast cancer awareness tonight, Boise State football program, a tip of the cap in their direction. And after a 30-yard punt, it's 1st and 10 for Brett Rippon. Rippon just 38 yards through the air so far. Late flag on the field as he slides for a gain of 2. Utah State's defense has been one of these stories so far tonight, Tom, and almost in a surprising way.
Yeah, they've been playing really good, disciplined.
While the quarterback was in the pocket, holding, defense, number 8, 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play, results in a first down.
It's the backup corner, Wesley Bailey.
Well, you know what Matt Wells is saying? He said, hey, listen, Rippon became a runner, and he can use his hands. Or he's saying, don't hold the receiver, right?
I think that's what he just told him.
Yeah. Just don't get caught.
Wells in his 4th season, a former Utah State quarterback. Became good friends with Brian Harsin when they were both tight end coaches. Wives and family remain good friends to this day. Handoff. McNichols, a little stutter step into Utah State territory on his longest run of the night. And Jeremy McNichols starting to get things going after a gain of 15.
Yeah, great blocking at the point of attack at the end of the line of scrimmage. You see the tackle comes down. They bring the big left guard around Travis Averill, and McNichols just sets up the block. He's patient, and then he blasts through the hole ahead for the first down.
First play in plus territory. Richardson in motion. 2 tight end formation. McNichols spins around. He'll lose a yard. Taufa with the initial contact. Send you back to the studio, Chris Cotter.
Well, you can only contain Lamar Jackson for so long. After Clemson's 5th turnover of the night, Jackson takes it around the right side and scores. Now 26 unanswered for the Cardinals over on ABC. They take the lead.
Louisville back in front. How about that? Second and long here for the Broncos. Well, Lamar Jackson, you can only contain him on the ground, especially for so long. Long developing play for McNichols. He'll pick up 3 yards. Derek Larson, outside linebacker with a tackle.
Yeah, if you had to write in a Heisman, ballot today, Lamar Jackson would probably be on everyone's ballot.
It would be Jackson and everybody else.
Yeah.
If they go into Death Valley and hold on there after destroying Florida State, that's a statement. 2 statements.
2 statements. And when you face off against Clemson there, yeah, that's and maybe the best quarterback in the country.
Empty backfield, 3rd and 8. Grippin, the slant, incomplete. Looking for Butler. Couldn't corral it. Gray in coverage. Hey, don't forget our Week 4 Monday Night Football matchup will be an NFC battle between the undefeated Minnesota Vikings at the brand new venue, the new US Bank Stadium. New York Football Giants Eli Manning coming to town, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Our coverage begins as always with Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's, starting at 6 o'clock. Also streaming live ESPN app and watch ESPN. And here's a fake. Ben Weaver, the linebacker, sends it to the tight end. Did he make the first down? Danens did not.
Ruling on the field is the runner was short of the line of game. Turnover on downs. It's first down.
Well,
Rockamore able to get the job done there, Tom.
Boise State unafraid to call fakes as tradition goes, and Danens, you're right, gets pulled down, and again it's that great defensive recognition. They were looking for a fake. Pretty impressed with Weaver, the linebacker, throwing lefty on the run too.
On the run like it was his job.
Yeah.
Pass to Danez, comes up short. 1st and 10 now for Utah State, and a chance to close this first half strong. 5-man front for the Broncos. And a deep handoff. Lindsey brought down by Blake Whitlock, who replaced Vallejo in the starting lineup tonight. That's 36 in blue. The coaching staff here hoping that the light comes on for him, a junior out of Reno, Nevada. It's a big play there.
Well, they got a stable of linebackers, so he's just one more in that great group that they have on the current team.
After a loss of 2, passes batted down. McCaskill. That is Big Paul on it, 94. He's been everywhere tonight.
Both defenses are making it so hard on the opposing offense. And again, McCaskill off the edge. They rushed 5 that time. But McCaskill that time with his hand up, knocking the pass away. Moa got one earlier. The senior pushes Utah State into another 3rd down, 3rd and 12.
Myers flushed and down he goes. McCaskill once again makes the play.
And I think Myers was trying to get the ball to Ronquavian Tarver on the backside, and just nowhere for him to even step up into the pocket. The pocket just collapsed. Again, McCaskill off the edge, and that's why they're leading the country in sacks.
First charge timeout. Boise State, timeout on the field.
Broncos more than 4 sacks per game coming into tonight. And they'll get the football back when we return. 2:33 remaining here in our first half. Boise State a 4-point lead.
Chris Cotter in studio. BMW halftime report coming your way in just a few moments. Jonathan Vilma, Butch Davis going to be in studio here with me. Got a lot of exciting games to talk about, including a big one going on right now over in Death Valley between Clemson and Louisville. No huddle rapid fire highlights in game balls, and Jonathan Vilma is giving his to a kicker. BMW halftime report coming up.
Chris, thank you very much. Over on ABC, that Clemson-Louisville game back to a 2-point margin as Dalton gets the kick away, and it's fumbled. He muffed the punt back at the 25-yard line. And Sue came out of there with it. It's a 41-yard punt, and this is a very big call early in this one. And Utah State's got it. Boy, Butler just had it slip right through his fingertips.
And Gerald Knight, number 25, with the recovery, and that is a huge mistake by Butler. Ball squirts away. Utah State right on top of it, and man, that is a huge momentum shift for Utah State.
First turnover for either side tonight. Utah State forced 7 first-half turnovers last year in the upset win down in Logan. Let's see if the Boise State defense can rise to the occasion.
Boy, just a moment ago we saw Brian Harsin on the sideline. He was hot. Matt Wells right there. 9 forced turnover in the last 2 games against Boise State. Remember, they had 7 in the first half a year ago.
Butler getting a talking to by his teammates, and now they're going to take another look at that last sequence.
Yeah, I think they'll see exactly what our cameras provided, which was a great look at Utah State recovering the muffed punt.
Well, it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn any call in the field when it goes to instant replay. Jeff Hansen, our replay official tonight, also with the Mountain West Conference. Utah State's got to be thinking, here we go again after what happened last week.
And the guy who makes the play is Anthony Williams, number 16. He sees Butler muff the ball, and then he just drills him. And then Gerald Bright was right there behind him to fall on the ball. It's a great look. That's like, whoop, look out. But right there when the big linebacker who's down on punt coverage, Anthony Williams, had a spectacular game last week against Air Force. Comes in as a #1 tackler for Utah State.
This will be Aggies football here.
Yeah. Yep. And then it was a scrum.
Oh, Gerald Bright, the wide receiver, running back, also on special teams, was a high school quarterback running the wing T. So he's got good hands. He needed it right there.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Utah State.
No call confirmed. Replay. Saw the same thing that we did, and for Butler, he'll look for redemption later tonight.
Utah State in the red zone earlier tonight, coming away with only a field goal. Take a look at that. They can put points up quickly.
2:33 left. 3 timeouts to work with for Utah State from the 25. And movement looked like on the left side of the line. That'll back them up 5 yards.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jude Hockel. And make sure you kick off your Week 4 NFL Sunday with us right here on ESPN, 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Insiders Sunday edition. Then at 11, the new Sunday NFL Countdown. Both shows also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Myers will fake the handoff. Right side. He'll dive for about 3 with a hit by Hoyt. What has turned out to be a defensive slugfest. We were kind of expecting a Wild West shootout here in Boise.
We were, but Utah State's been true to themselves. They have to establish some run game. It's just they want to go forward, not backwards.
Broncos 6th in the country in run defense. Crossing pattern caught. And Roberts has a first down. Braylon Roberts, his second grab of the night. A gain of 14, finally brought down by Whitlock.
Well, Roberts, another good-looking athlete. 6'3", 205 out of Dallas. And you know what beats defenses? The crossers. You gotta love them. I love the crossing routes. They're usually a man beater right there. He did a nice job settling down in the zone.
Fake the handoff to Bright Myers. Navigates his way towards the 10. A short pickup brought down by Cameron Hartsfield.
Boy, you know, Myers is doing a great job. He kind of looks like a tailback right here. Watch him hunkering in behind Houston, the tight end. I mean, that's good running. But then again, Blake Whitlock there stepping up, making the tackle.
Keep an eye on 83, the tight end, Wyatt Houston. Handed the dirt bottom of the screen. Looking his direction, they'll fire it short. And Lindsey lassoed by Weaver. Third down.
Boy, nice play by Weaver that time. He's an experienced linebacker, and it shows. Take a look at that. Boise State, one of the few teams this year that haven't trailed at any point during the game.
Only the Broncos and the Miami Hurricanes can claim that statistic.
So they got stymied on the last third down in the red zone. Timeout, Utah State.
Aggies with 2 remaining, 28 seconds left, 3rd and 5.
Well, and Roy, you got to ask yourself a question. They're going to dial up a good play here, and I would imagine that they'd try to not only get the first down, but try and get it into the end zone here, because you have enough room, right? You have enough room to throw the ball. You have some additional room. But do you go for it? If you don't make it, do you line up? Do you either kick a field goal? Because if you decide to go for the field goal, you're still behind by 1. But, you know, these guys know each other well. They like to get after each other. I wouldn't. If Matt Wells doesn't get it on 3rd down, he may go for it on 4th. And I think Brian Harsin, the Boise State coach, knows that.
Well, the defense for the Aggies has played well enough to where I think that Wells would need to consider the field goal try. Rock Warren has been rock solid this year. 6 of 7, including 1 from 28 out earlier tonight.
And I always say points before halftime are of utmost importance. You really have to put points on the board, and even if it's a 7-6 game at half, then they probably think they're in the Big Ten. It's one of those slugfest games.
The punting competitions, I like to call it. Hey, this offensive era of football that we live in, you don't see a lot of those contests all that often. You know, 3rd down and 5, a big one coming up for the Aggies. A packed house here in Boise. One for 8 on 3rd down tonight. That's Lewis in motion. Myers steps up. And driven down by David Moa. The double nickel brings down the hammer.
Well, he carried the hammer out tonight, and he brought the hammer just now. And Matt Wells is furious. You got to protect the quarterback. Moa, one of the most active interior linemen in the country, fights through 3 guys. Just a great play that time by Moa.
5th sack of the season, leading this Boise State defense.
Second charge timeout. Utah State, 30-second timeout.
And just 1 second remaining. So the Aggies will have a chance to make this a 1-point ball game, and all things considered, that's probably a win here in the first 2 quarters, coming in as heavy underdogs.
Well, I don't want to go that far, but so far so good for Utah State. I think Matt Wells, you keep it close with Boise State. You don't let them run away. They've been a great first half team this year. Brett Rippon's been a great throwing quarterback in the first half of every game, and they've kind of let off the gas a little bit in the second halves, especially so last week against Oregon State, and that was okay because they were ahead. But Boy, Utah State's going to give you 60 minutes of play.
32-yard attempt again from the left hash for Brock Warren, the senior from Hyde Park, Utah. Brian Harsin will make him think things over using one of his 2 remaining timeouts.
Second charge timeout. Boise State, 30-second timeout.
A little cat and mouse game being played. Great to have you with us tonight. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, Alex Cordry down on the sidelines. And a defensive slugfest so far. Not really what we expected. Entertaining nonetheless.
Very entertaining. It's not the Big Ten. We know that. Even though there's a lot of punts and a lot of defense so far. But, you know, remember, Utah State's a very explosive team. Boise State, they have had chances, but they've been frustrated tonight, Roy. And you can tell the defense has played well on both sides for each team. And I think right now it's, you know, they're better to put points on the board, go in 7-6, and retool at halftime and see the total yards for each team. No one's on top of it so much and has such an advantage that these little points don't mean the big difference at the end.
Well, a huge game for Utah State. Already 1 loss in conference. That coming last week to Air Force. The conference opener for Boise State tonight. And Warren hooked it. Sit it wide left, and a big stop for Brian Harsin's Broncos.
Well, credit that guy, Moa, as he runs off the field. He made the play right there.
One of the top defenses in the country. Boise State undefeated. Ranked 24 coming into tonight. And flexing its muscle here in the first 2 quarters on the blue turf. As we send you down to the sidelines, Alex, with Brian Harsin.
Coach, can you talk about the relentlessness of your defense that we've seen in the first half tonight?
Well, you saw him just finish it right there with field goal block. Those guys are doing a great job. It's been a defensive battle. They're executing well.
You told me coming into this game your offense just needed to play their game, but why have you had so much trouble in the first half?
Well, they're playing well on defense as well. Utah State is. We got to go out there and execute. Just settle down. Consistency is really the name of the game right now. We got to do that in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
7-3 our halftime score as we send you now to the BMW halftime report. Chris Cotter, Butch Davis, and Jonathan Vilma, guys.